What's up, guys? It's Flossin. Now, I've played quite a few gacha games in my time, but out of all of them, Zenless Zone Zero has easily taken the top spot. I mean, the cinematics are on a whole different level. The kind of stuff that keeps you glued to the screen. And the story development, it's like an emotional roller coaster. You really feel connected to these characters. But the thing that gets me the most is how each character has such a unique and memorable personality. Like, even after logging off, you can't help but think about them. They stick with you. Which brings me to my topic today, Koleda. Koleda was actually the first S-rank agent I pulled in Zenless, and I gotta say, she's definitely one of my top 3 favorites. I mean, come on guys, nothing's gonna replace these two fools on my roster. But, jokes aside, Koleda grabbed my attention from day one, and I think it says a lot. I remember when I first tried out her demo, and let me tell you, it was pretty much love at first sight. Her playstyle is so chaotic, with her zipping around the battlefield like a wild firecracker. She's got this energy where one moment she's here, the next she's over there, dodging and weaving through enemy attacks. And there are even times where she legit dodges attacks on accident, just because of how short she is. Weaving her EX special into her attack combos felt smooth, and that's where I got hooked. And then with the addition of Ben on your team, her playstyle and animations just made it that much more fun to play her. That whole dynamic of having a partner fighting by your side is what made her stand out from the other stunners in the game, in my opinion. But as much as I enjoy playing her, and as much as Koleda is still fun to play, there's an issue that's been bothering me for a while. And honestly, I think it's something that might eventually push her out of the spotlight. You see, Koleda's strength lies in her ability to stun enemies, no doubt about it. When she's popping off, she can keep enemies locked down like no one else, but she's heavily reliant on her EX special. Without it, her day's effectiveness takes a serious nosedive, and her regular attack strings, they're slow. Like, painfully slow at times. If you ever played her, you probably know what I'm talking about. Some of her moves even lock her into long animations, which leaves her vulnerable, or even worse, puts her out of position on the battlefield. So if you're not careful, you might find yourself in a bad spot real quick, and in fast-paced fights, it can be a real problem. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Koleda is a bad character by any means. She has some serious strengths, but running her in a team can be tricky, especially when you compare her to the other stunners who have come out since launch, and that's where things really start to get complicated for Koleda. Let's take Lycaon, for example. He's another standard banner agent, and when he dropped alongside Koleda, it was a game changer. Lycaon's got this ice-centric playstyle that makes him a perfect fit for early ice teams. And let's not forget his daze multiplier. Being able to increase the stun multiplier is ridiculous. His attack strings have high daze potential, plus he can shred enemies resistant to ice by 25%. When you pair him up with El and Joe, the first limited agent in the game, you've got almost an unstoppable duo. Lycaon basically future-proofed himself right from the start. It's like Hoyoverse made this guy a powerhouse not just for now, but any future ice teams or agents that release in the future. And because of that, it's hard for other stunners like Koleda to keep up. Now, does this mean that I stopped playing Koleda right then and there? No, absolutely not. I don't even have El and Joe on my account, and I was still having a blast with her. When Soldier 11 joined my roster after her as well, that was a big moment for me. I finally had what I needed for my mono fire team, and let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. Koleda might have had some drawbacks, but she was still getting the job done, and I wasn't ready to give up on her. But then, patch 1.1 happened, and that's when we got Qingyi. Qingyi was something else. I'm talking about a complete game changer, especially when it comes to versatility. She's an electric stunner and part of the NEP squad, and let's just say, her release put every other stunner on notice. Qingyi came with a crazy increase to enemy stun damage multiplier, up to 40%, which is nuts. On top of that, she's got built-in dodge counters in her attack string, so she's not only hard to hit, but she can punish enemies while dodging. Her anti-eruption abilities make her practically unstoppable during her third attack combo string. Pairing her up with Juyuin just puts her miles ahead of the competition. And yet, even with all that, I wasn't ready to jump ship. I mean, resources were tight back then, right? Anyone who pulled for Ellen and Juyuin knew just how dry things were. I convinced myself that I didn't need Qingyi. She's bait, I thought, and I can make do with what I have. So I kept rolling with Koleda, but man, Qingyi's release definitely got me thinking, how much longer could Koleda hold her own? The real concern started creeping in during our most recent patch, 1.2. This is when reality really starts to hit me. Enter Caesar King, arguably the best support character in Zenless Zone Zero. Now, Caesar King is labeled as a defense unit, but her kit does way more than just protecting. She brings insane versatility to any team, which is what makes her so good. She's got this anti-interruption shield, boosts your attack stats like crazy for whoever she's protecting, and on top of that, she's got serious daze potential too. Her parry mechanic applies daze like nobody's business when it comes to timing it perfectly, and that's something you don't often see from a non-stunner agent. It was clear right away that Caesar King was a must-have for anyone looking for a versatile agent. I mean, when in doubt, pick the king, right? This is when my opinion of Koleda started to shift. Sure, Caesar King couldn't replace Koleda's upfront daze burst from her EX special, but she was taking her spot when it came to versatility. Koleda's limited playstyle was really starting to show, and Caesar King just highlighted that even more. But even then, I didn't completely lose hope. I kept playing her, because hey, as long as I love playing Soldier 11, Koleda being a fire stunner still had a place on my team. I was loyal, and there was no way that I was going to swap her out. That is until Lighter happened. Now, I know it's probably way too early to be doom posting about whether this agent will take Koleda's spot or not. I mean, nothing has been officially released by Hoyoverse themselves in terms of his full kit or how he'll play, but honestly, just the fact that he's tagged as a fire stunner has already put the nail in the coffin for me. We've seen this pattern before, haven't we? Qingyi and Ambi are a great example. If Hoyoverse gave players a free choice between Qingyi and Ambi, almost everyone is going to pick Qingyi, no doubt. She just has too many tools in her kit compared to Ambi's more straightforward playstyle. And I feel like we're about to see history repeat itself with Lighter and Koleda. Remember how Lycaon future-proofed himself with his ice resistance shred? I wouldn't be surprised if Lighter comes in with a similar mechanic. Maybe a fire damage boost, or something that makes sure he stands out as the new hotness. Hoyoverse isn't going to release this character at the same power level of his rivals. They want people to pull for him, and I'm already bracing myself for what that might mean for Koleda. Now, again, there's always a chance that Lighter comes in with some weakness that Koleda can exploit, but honestly, with the way things are going, it's hard for me to imagine that happening. Lighter's announcement alone has already made me reconsider my pulling plans, and that kind of says a lot. So, where does this leave Koleda? Well, only time will tell if she can keep up with the rapid influx of new agents. But sadly, I think the time will come soon where I have to accept the inevitable and retire from playing Belobog's most beloved president. But yeah, I think that's enough doom posting for today, especially since I still have a soft spot for this agent. But I'm curious, what about you guys? Do you play Koleda? And have you noticed these issues with her like I have? Or do you think she still has a place in the future? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Until next time though, happy gaming, and may your pulls be ever in your favor.